What it do, YouTube? It's your boy Matt the Scat. And man, hold on. Hey! And today I'm bringing you guys my playoff predictions, the playoff bracket challenge, man.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
And hopefully the audio is matching the screen properly and maybe a little off at certain portions of the video. But I'm going to try my best to keep it on track with everything. But we're going to jump straight into it. My predictions. I already told you how I felt about this series if you haven't seen my last video. But you guys been crazy, y'all, man. Shout out to y'all for watching that video. I said Boston in 6. Basically, they just have more people to put on KD than Brooklyn has to put on Tatum. And the Celtics role players are just better. Like I said, the Boston's duel can keep up with Brooklyn's. As long as they keep it close, Boston's going to win that. I got them in 6. It might go 7. Milwaukee versus Chicago. This is very interesting. Milwaukee's defense isn't as good as it was last year, in my opinion. The loss of PJ Tucker, but they're gonna beat Chicago. Chicago's defense sucks. It's really horrible, especially compared to the Bucks' defense. Still, Giannis is just the best player on the floor. Drew Holiday is becoming one of their closers. He's been an amazing two-way player. Chicago just doesn't have enough. If I'm gonna say Milwaukee in 5, but if Chicago had Lonzo, I would say Milwaukee in 6. But it's gonna go 5. Philly versus Toronto. I have this series going in. It's going to either go 5 or 6. Philly is up 2-0 currently. But I don't know. I know Toronto's definitely going to win one of these home games, so it's at least going 5. But I feel like they're going to squeeze another one out. I think it's going to go 6. I don't know why, but I have this feeling they're going to fight a scrappy team. And you know, Embiid and Harden are the type of players to take their foot off the pedal. We know them to do this in previous series. I just don't trust them, but they're still going to win the series, but it's going to go 6. Miami versus the Heat. This series is over. Trae Young. Someone asked me what do the Heat need to do to come back in this series. I told them to go get some new players and come back and try again next year, because it's over with. It's curtains, my boy. Trae Young, it's over, my boy. Yeah, I have Miami beating this team in 5 games. I have Miami in 5. All right, so they just outmatched. Miami's just a better team from top to bottom. The way they're guarding him is the exact way to guard him. Switch everything. Step over the screen. Heads the screen so he doesn't turn the corner. Make him more of a facilitator than a scorer. Force Bogdanovic and Herter to be the guys to step up. They just have a much better team from top to bottom. Their bigs are better. Their wings are better. So I got them winning in 5. Now let's move on to the semifinals where I have the Boston Celtics versus the Bucks. Now, Boston, Milwaukee, this series is going to go 6 or 7 no matter who wins. But I have Boston winning because I think they match up perfectly for this.
You what?
They can build the wall, which is exactly what the Raptors did with Siakam, Gasol, Ibaka, Kawhi, Boucher. The Boston Celtics have Tatum, Harford, Robin Williams, the Time Lord, will be back. Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Marcus Smart, even though he's only 6'4", is the Defensive Player of the Year. Like I said, JT, look what Jason Tatum's doing to KD. Like, they have it. They have the capability of doing this. I have them winning in 6. Now, Miami versus Philly. I have Miami winning this in 6. Miami in 6. They're just better than Philly, too. Deeper bench. I trust Jimmy Butler more than James Harden, even though you can argue James Harden is a better player, more spectacular. Jimmy Butler is more clutch. Bam is going to outplay whoever the second or third best player is on Philly. Even though Tyrese Maxey is hooping, I would give him that. He's hooping. He's a baller. I got Miami winning in 6. It'll be a good series, but Miami in 6. Suns, Pelicans, come on, man. Suns in 6. I would have said Suns in 5 as if they didn't lose yesterday, but they did. The Pelicans will win one at home. They'll squeeze one out. So I'm going to say Suns in 6. But if you think the Pelicans are going to win, come on, man. Come on, man. Jazz versus the Mavericks. Donovan, if you lose this series, just leave. Just leave Utah. You shouldn't even be there. But Jazz in 6. No Luka. Porzingis got traded. Come on, man. It's just Jalen Brunson and Tim Hardaway. Up next, Nuggets versus Warriors. I have Warriors in 5. Jokic is the MVP, but he doesn't have 2 of his top 3 players in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. And Murray was one of their closers. Not that Nikola Jokic can't close, but Murray was one of their closers. The Warriors are so deep, man. They have 2-way players. The Poole's playing out of his mind. He's an all-star caliber player. They just have too much. Steph is looking good. Clay's getting back in the form. I think they just have too much, and they're going to make a deep playoff run. Now, in my last video, which is my predictions video, by the way, thank you guys so much for the support on that. You guys went crazy. I said this Grizzlies-Wolves matchup was going to be way better than most people anticipated. Some people thought the Grizzlies were going to sweep them or win in 5. I said no, it's going 6 or 7. I said 6 at first, but now I'm going in 7. Grizzlies in 7. They're just a deeper team, the more consistent team, better defense. Ja Morant has been the best player in this series. It should be Karl-Anthony Towns, but it hasn't been. Karl gets in foul trouble way too easily. He's missing most of the second quarter and third. And they're just deeper. Ja can have an off game, and as we've seen, the Memphis Grizzlies can win without him or with him having an off game. If Cat or Ant both don't show up and drop 30, they're losing. The Timberwolves are losing, so that's how I look at it. Next, we have Suns and Jazz. Come on, man. Come on, man. The Jazz are having trouble beating the Mavs with no Luka, no Porzingis, and are getting their ass whooped by Jalen Brunson. Come on, man. Suns in 5. I don't even want to talk about the Jazz right now. Now on to the semifinals. We have the Warriors and the Grizzlies. I have the Warriors winning in 7. I think this will also go 7. And part of the reason I have the Grizzlies losing in 7 is because since I believe the Timberwolves will take them a distance, I think it's going to take a little bit out of them. The Warriors are just as deep, but have more superstars, you know what I'm saying, and more consistent superstars compared to the Timberwolves. So the Warriors are just a different beast. I have Steph getting revenge over Ja. Klay Thompson's back, so that'll definitely be a factor. Jordan Poole's playing out of his mind. I just believe this Warriors team is truly better. The Grizzlies are going to make him work for it. Ja Morant may mess around and be the best player in the series. He already beat Steph before. He might be the best players in this series. But I think with Klay Thompson being there now, with Jordan Poole playing out of his mind, they're not as good defensively as the Grizzlies. But with that lineup, whatever they want to call it, the death lineup, the big three, whatever they're calling it, with Poole, Draymond, Klay, and Steph on the court at the same time, woo, yeah, they get it done, man. They definitely get it done. So it's gonna be close. The Grizzlies could win in a game 7, but I'm gonna say Warriors in 7 just because the Timberwolves are giving them a hard time as well. But this conference finals are set. I have the Phoenix Suns going up against the Warriors, and then I have Boston taking on Miami. I can all agree this would be 2 fire finals matchups. I think this would be insane. I would love to see both of these happen. Both of these would be going 6 or 7 games guaranteed. Let's jump into this Eastern Conference Finals. I have the Heat and the Celtics. I got Celtics winning in 7. The Heat could very well win in 7. It's a toss-up, but I'm going to say Celtics edge it out. Now, the Heat have a little bit better bench than the Celtics, even though the Celtics bench is actually really, really good. Al Horford is going to be back on the bench when the Time Lord comes back, because you have to remember, Robin Williams is projected to come back at the end of round 1, beginning of round 2, so he should be there for the series. I think these two teams are 100% evenly matched. Maybe the Heat's team are a little bit deeper slightly, but I just think this is Tatum's year. I believe this. We saw them in the bubble push the Heat 7 games, and Tatum wasn't as mature, and I would like to say he took the Kobe shots. What I mean by that is the most difficult shots, and his game was a lot more mature. Marcus Smart and Brown have both elevated their games to all-star caliber players, and I just honestly think this is going to come down to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown going at it again, another dynamic duo having to go up against Bam and not playing them. Jason Tatum and Brown are going to have to outdo Kevin Durant and Kyrie, Giannis and Chris Middleton, and then Bam and Butler. That's a journey, man. That is a journey, but I think they're going to do it. Like I said, the Heat can very well win it, but I'm going to go with them. It's going to be close. It's going 6 or 7 no matter what. Next, I have the Warriors versus the Suns Western Conference Finals. This is going to be another... I believe this is going 7 games. I'm not even going to say... I'm not going to hedge my bet and say 6 or 7. This is going 7 games. Now, I was going back and forth with this for a while, but I think this guy's giving Chris Paul one more chance. Everybody clap it up. Guy's giving Chris Paul one more chance. You got one more chance, boy. You got one more chance, boy. It's your last chance, boy. But seriously, I think they're going to squeeze it out. I realize how talented the Warriors are, especially on the offensive end. But I just feel where the Warriors lack is interior presence. I think they're going to get out-rebounded with Ayton and JaVale McGee, Cam Johnson. They just have too many big bodies. And I think boards is going to play a huge factor, second chance opportunities. Chris Paul, now Curry has gotten the best of Chris Paul for most of his career. Basically all of his career, to be honest. But I think this is Chris Paul's year. Michael Bridges is going to make Klay Thompson work, Defensive Player of the Year candidate. In my opinion, I think it actually should have been him because he was actually guarding. Not that Marcus Smart wasn't. I'm happy he got it as a Celtics fan. But I think I probably would have gave it to Mikal Bridges this year. But like I said, I think they just a little more balanced. The Suns are a little bit more balanced. a little bit better. They can match up offensively. Golden State's probably a little better offensively. I just think Curry's going to show up. Devin Booker is clutch. I trust him, definitely. In the clutch, I trust Devin Booker over Curry. I said it. I trust him. Now, he's not better, but I trust him more in the clutch. But now the conference finals are set. We have Suns coming out of the West. That means it's Suns versus Boston. Woo! Suns Boston is going to be crazy. I think this is going to go 7 games. My mind is telling me Phoenix in 6. I mean Phoenix in 7, maybe 6. But my heart is telling me Boston in 7 because we do match up well with them. We have everything they have. But at the end of the day, I just think Chris Paul and Devin Booker are a little bit more clutch than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I think Jason Tatum's a little bit better than Devin Booker. It's close. Because what Jason Tatum can do on the defensive end. But I just think the Suns can match what Boston does when it comes to the bench. Their benches are even. I will actually give the advantage to Phoenix because Cam Johnson can do everything, man. Stretch the floor. Great rebounder for that size, man. And he hustles, man. So I would just say Phoenix probably has the advantage as far as the bench. Boston probably has a. I can't even say Boston has a better starting lineup because Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, they're the most balanced team. It's going to be close. I think it's going to come down to a Game 6 or Game 7, but Devin Booker is going to make the key shots down the stretch. Hopefully I'm wrong and Boston wins in the finals, but I'm going to say Phoenix in 7. Phoenix beats Boston in a 7-game series in the finals. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'm out. Hey, peace.